Hello, everyone, and welcome to Love Chat with the Love Twins. I'm Gladys Diaz, and I'm very happy to be here with you today as we talk about the attraction secret. How do you reignite your own excitement around dating, love, and relationships and radiate an energy that men simply cannot resist? That who you're being without having to force anything or having to pretend or put on a show or a performance, that just who you are and who you are being is something he simply cannot resist. That is what being an irresistible woman is all about. And that's really what Michelle and I teach women all around the world to do. So no matter whatever your old love story has been up until now, if you haven't created the kind of relationship that you want, if you've felt like you're just not getting the matches that you want to line, that you're meeting men who maybe are nice enough, but they're just like, you don't feel that heart connection, that soul connection, or maybe you're just not attracting the kind of men you want to be magnetizing into your hemisphere at all. Today's love chat is specifically for you. So thanks again for being here. And I know that we just had a beautiful client retreat this past weekend. We got to be with some of our clients, and one of our previous clients came, and she was sharing how when she first started working with us, she was completely overwhelmed with life. And it was really because she was putting so much focus and energy on taking care of her mother and her children. She had, at that time, I believe she had 3 jobs and positions in different organizations. She was too exhausted, too exhausted to date. Then she started working with us, and she met a man, and they got engaged, and she started to have that feeling like, I don't know, I don't think this is really the right match for me. And it took a lot of courage, right, for her to first of all acknowledge that to herself, then have a conversation with her coach. And I just gave her the coaching to really tune in with herself, to make sure that if this was the relationship, I wanted to make sure that there weren't any fears, cold feet coming up, but just gave her the coaching on how to really just tune in with herself and be honest, to tell herself the truth. She ended up having the courage to, even though everything was paid for and everybody had been invited and the dress and everything, she had the courage to let that go. But then she was afraid to date again. And because she was associating dating with that kind of heartache, and she was associating dating with going through all of that and feeling like it's the one, and then it wasn't the one. And I don't know if that's your story, but I know that there's probably something that's taking the joy, the fun, the excitement out of dating and relationships. Otherwise, if you were meeting amazing men and having a great time, you wouldn't be wanting to put the pause button on, or relating to dating, even online dating, as if it's something treacherous or drudgery, right? So long story short, she started working with us again, and she got really clear on her love vision. She got clear that she couldn't keep putting the whole entire world in front of herself, that she got to make herself a priority, that she got to create boundaries with the people in her life, still being a loving, generous woman and loving herself too. And now she is getting married. I was going to say next month because, basically tomorrow's October 1st, but she's getting married in November, and she is so happy. And this man is just everything. It's just the perfect match. The generosity matches, the care for family matches, the priority of family matches. And that's what we're talking about. How do you magnetize a man who not only is there chemistry or a spark when you first meet them, but that there's a real spark that gets to be ignited and kept lit year after year after year. So just wanted to let you know that if you're feeling uninspired or awkward, or love and dating feels flat lately, you are not alone, and you can turn it around. So today I'm going to show you how to ignite that spark inside of yourself and radiate that energy that is just irresistible to the right man. Okay. So the first thing I want to do in doing that, and first of all, let me just check to see who is here, because I don't see, well, I didn't see anything because I didn't have my comments open. So hello, Maria, Teresa, and Marilyn. Nice to have you all here. And anybody else who's there, please feel free to say hello. I would love to know who's here. It always makes it feel like, like I'm not just talking to myself. And if you're watching on YouTube or Instagram or any of the other places, or you're watching on replay, please go ahead and put your comments in the comment section, because we do come back and read them, and we will respond to you. All right. So let's bust a myth before we start. A lot of women feel, I already tried, I already did this, like it's too late. The spark is gone, right? So I want you to know the spark is not gone. The spark is inside of you. It's just asleep right now. The retreat we just had this weekend was called the Awakening Retreat, right? So it's just right now it's asleep, and it's asleep inside of trying to protect you because you don't want to have another heartache. You don't want to feel disappointed again. You don't want to have the experience that you're going through all the motions, doing all the things, working on yourself, learning the successful dating skills, and then still not having the kind of result that you want, which is that beautiful, loving relationship with the right man that you get to be in for the rest of your life. So, just want you to know that it is not the spark is not dead. It's just right now. It's just asleep. We're gonna awaken it right now. And then also, I want to really talk about when I use spark. You saw me kind of thinking and hesitating because I think people think chemistry, spark. You're supposed to feel something right away. So I want you to know that that doesn't always happen. Sometimes the more you get to know a person, who he really is, his character, like his genuine nature. Everybody's kind of on their best behavior on the first day, but who a person really is, just like he's going to have the opportunity to get to know who you really are, the real attraction starts to grow. And so, also want to clarify, when we talk about attraction, I'm not talking about pursuing men, going looking for men, hunting, fishing, whatever analogy women have out there, weeding out the men. That's not what I'm talking about. Attracting is actually the way that you are being, and who you are being is actually pulling towards you. You're not doing the pulling, it's your beingness. Like the person recognizes something about you. He may not know what it is, but it's something that you're alluring, you're magnetic, and he wants to approach, whether that's online or in person. There's just something the person senses. So it's not chasing, it's certainly not about being perfect, because then anybody who's looking for the perfect person is going to be alone for the rest of their lives. You're looking for the imperfectly perfect person who's absolutely perfect for you. And it's also not about you having to do more. As highly driven women, a lot of times we associate getting a result with doing more, right? And it's not about doing more. It's about doing what works, being the kind of woman who attracts the kind of man who's a match for you, and what we call your love vision, your values. That's what we're talking about. Okay. And it's about you reconnecting with your irresistible essence. See, every single woman is born with the irresistible essence. That's your natural, innate capacity to draw to you the people, the situations, the opportunities, the the health, the happiness, the wealth, everything that your heart desires. You're born with the ability to do that. It starts to dim, right? The spark starts to feel like it's dying out when you experience disappointment, or you don't know the right skills, right? It's not about knowing, it's not even knowing the right steps. It's putting the steps in the right order, right? Making sure that you're taking your time, making sure that you're not rushing into anything, allowing yourself the space and the time to really get to know someone, and give that person the opportunity to get to know you, so you can both be clear on if you're the right fit for each other. So when you are embodying, that means actually being in your whole entire being, that radiant, intentional, magnetic, alluring woman, the right man can't help but notice you. And when you're focused more on what you want to experience in a relationship, love, partnership, peace, connection, romance, safety, emotional safety, when you're really clear on what you want to experience versus focusing on what the man has to look like, have, and do, and how old he has to be, and all of those things, if you're focused on the relationship that I want, and the relationship that I want to create, the relationship of my dreams, we are connected, we are respectful, we are honest, we are trusting and trustworthy, we truly listen to one another with not just our ears but our heart. We're each other's biggest champion and cheerleader. You hear that, right? That's different than he has to do this and he has to have this and he has to, because then you're looking for criteria versus character, right? So what you're looking for is character. So when you're that embodied, radiant, alluring, generous, loving, inspiring woman, the man does that double take, and just may not know that you're the right person for him yet, but knows that he's certainly drawn to you and wants to get to know you. Okay. So there are I want to give you some practices for you to reconnect with that irresistible essence, your feminine energy, before, for example, before you even sit in front of your phone or your computer to go online, before you step out of your house to go on a date, or even to a social event, or even to work or the grocery store. You know, people see you when you go to the grocery store. I see people like in their pajamas with like the messy bun, and it's not about looking perfect, but my goodness, you know, you don't know where you're going to meet this guy. So you just want to always feel your feminine best, right? So what do you do, right, before you have interactions, and even in the morning? It's just a great thing to do, just to reconnect with yourself and your irresistible essence. So here are just some really quick, super easy things to practice, okay, so that you're reconnecting with your, first of all, with your body, and then that feminine, radiant, irresistible energy. So something as simple as just taking 2 minutes to breathe, and to breathe, not just like, obviously we're breathing 24 hours a day or we're not here, but it's intentional breathing, where as I'm inhaling, I'm literally allowing the air, the oxygen to come into my body and throughout my body, through me, in me, right? All over and around me. And just allowing, and I like to envision, like, if the room that I'm in has a mist of my favorite color is purple, right? And my favorite scent is vanilla. So I imagine that there's this beautiful mist, purple mist that smells like vanilla. And what it holds is love and generosity, peace, connection, safety, joy, freedom, all the things that are important to me. You can hear my values, right? So I imagine that I'm inhaling that, and I just allow it to come in me, and I envision it just going through me, radiating out, even to like the tips of my fingers, the tips of my toes, from head to toe. And then I exhale, and I just allow anything that's not aligned with that to just leave my body. So if you do that 2 minutes, you'll probably take a good 10 breaths, and just allowing the inhale to be intentional, the exhale to be effortless. You're going to reconnect with that irresistible essence. You're reconnecting with you. Wherever you go, there you are, right? We always say, wherever you are, there you are. So you want to check in with you every once in a while, and then just allow that love, that radiance, that inspiration, that magnetism to grow inside of you. So that's one step. Another easy one is, and I think somebody shared that she did this in at the retreat, but before you go, before you leave your house, before you go online, before you're going to do something that's connected to you and really manifesting and creating your love vision, just play a song that's inspiring, that actually makes you feel like that irresistible, amazing woman. And then we always say, dance like he's in front of you, right? Just dance to your favorite song, dance like it's your wedding night, right? And you're just like at the reception, just having the time of your life. Just allow love and joy to fill you as you dance to that song. You don't have to dance the whole song if you don't have the time for that, but give yourself a good 30-second. Most songs are like between 2.5 to 4 minutes. Give yourself at least 30 seconds to a minute. You're going to be moving your body. You're going to be shifting energy. You're going to be tapping into that feminine, beautiful woman who's inside, beautiful, loving, and lovable woman. And you're going to feel different just from moving your body and shifting that energy. And then another easy one is being what we call in a state of wonder, curiosity. Like, I wonder what amazing thing is going to happen today. I wonder what amazing person I'm going to meet online, or how that speed dating event is. Like, I just wonder what anticipate. I call it hopeful anticipation, being in that curious wonder and hopeful anticipation that something amazing is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be great. It's leading me closer and closer to my love vision. So you can even see in my energy as I'm describing it, like I'm not just talking it, I'm feeling it. That wonder, that hope, that joy, that beautiful anticipation that something amazing is going to happen. And it's leading me closer and closer to that relationship of my dreams. So that's another easy thing. You can do that anywhere. And then before you go out on a date, or before you go online, before you go out to a social event, like, set a powerful intention that you are going to have fun, that it is going to be fun no matter what happens. You're going to have fun. You're going to be smiling. You're going to find joy. And how you find, actually, you don't find joy, you create it. So you're going to be the joy that walks into the room. You're going to be the fun that walks into the room. You're going to be the light, that breath of inspiration. That's what being inspiring means. And so setting a powerful intention for who and how you are going to be is going to give you that experience. So if you're feeling a little nervous, you can say, I'm going to feel calm, peaceful, radiant, secure. I'm going to be I am intending to have open and connected conversations with whoever it is, right? I'm really looking forward to just having a great time. I am going to be relaxed and fun and free. Those are powerful intentions to have before you go online, before you go on a date, before you go to work, right? Some of you are not feeling that way about work, right? But this is how, specifically, when it comes to love and dating and relationships, you are actually being responsible for the experience that you're having, no matter where you are or who you're with. So even if you're on a date and it's not the right person, like maybe there's just like the conversation isn't flowing, or you're just not feeling it, you could still have a great time and connect and get to know that person and not feel like you're wasting your time, or here's another thing that didn't work. I was like, wow, I really had a good time. I actually was a good time. So think about, and give you a couple of questions, right? Oh, was it you, Marie? It was you, Teresa. It was you that talked about dancing before you left on the day. I knew I had heard it somewhere recently. So see, we do listen to y'all. So I want you to ask yourself, where in your life, I want you to think of a time, a moment in your life that you felt radiant, like you were just like the energy that you were emanating, radiating, was just like the pure essence of who you are. If you can think of a time like that, it might be a time where you felt successful. It might be a time where you felt really connected, and with to somebody. It could be a romantic partner, even if you're not with them anymore. It could be with a family member. Just a moment where you really, really felt that energy of who you are radiating. I would love, love, love to see that in the chat, because when you connect to those moments, you can actually anchor, not to the moment, to the being, to the energy. And then you can call on that. You can call that forward wherever you are, in whatever situation. Okay, so let me see if any of you have a radiant moment that you want to share. Kimberly said, I used to quote that old song that says, "The party doesn't start till I walk in." Yeah, I am the party. I actually have one of my, I don't know where I was showing my clients my little post-it notes that I have, and I say, I'm the place where love comes to live. Right, I am. It doesn't, not just romantic love, family love, friendship love, the love with my clients, my business associates, my team. I'm the place where love comes to live. It's like always with me, right? So I love that, Kimberly. I see. I'm so grateful to be here because I just started to talking to someone, and I'm going on my first date tomorrow. So that's exciting, Barbara. It's exciting. And be yourself. Don't be attached to any, like, it has to be the one. Wherever you are, who you are and who you are being, you can have fun, set that powerful intention, and just be really present. Be present with that person so you can gather information that you need to know. Like, wow, not sitting there wondering, I wonder if he's going to ask me out again. Is, I wonder if I want to go out with him again, right? It's a shift where I'm bringing the attention and the energy to me, being fully present, but not being attached to whether or not this is going to work out or not. Because it's really, I know some people say, I just felt on the first date that he wasn't the one. And I'm telling you, it's, a lot of people are nervous. Sometimes you don't realize how in your head you are on the first date. Give yourself 2 or 3 dates before you, unless you were disrespected or you didn't feel safe, then I would say give yourself 2 to 3 days before you decide whether or not you want to keep seeing someone. Okay. Oh, you had another date yesterday. I did not know that. I must go read my WhatsApp. Uh, uh, let's see. Somebody had said they wanted to ask a question. Can I ask you a question? What's a good place that people meet on dating in person? So I said this, if you all, Maria, I think I saw that you watched that one, but maybe it was like two weeks ago, maybe it was probably 3 weeks ago, actually, where I talked about one of the places that I think is the best way to meet people, both women and men. Because remember, if you don't have single girlfriends to go out with, you want to go to meetups where you can meet single women who are also like they're like-minded and like-spirited. They're positive. They're not like thrashing and male bashing men, but they also would like to meet a great man. So you can go to meetup.com and you put in your interests, your city. You can even put in your age range, and you're gonna get events that actually are for that you're interested in. So it doesn't have to be. You could put singles mixer or singles meetup, and things will come up. But if you just want to, you're just getting started. It could be sometimes it's going on a hike or doing an outside activity, and now you're doing something that you like, no matter what happens. But you also feel comfortable, confident. Takes some of the nerves out of it. But doing things that you already enjoy, going to places that are of interest, is a great place to go to meet people because they're also interested in that. So, there's also, you can find a lot of things online, like go to charity events. There's, men with a generous spirit at a charity event. I often don't say networking events because there's a specific goal in a networking event where people are just trying to, they're looking for people that they can do business with, that they can serve, and that can possibly help them. And so you don't want to be in your masculine business energy, right? You can always be feminine wherever you are, but there's a different goal, right? Different outcome. So that's going to meetup.com, eventbrite.com. I'm not an affiliate to any of these places, and I'm not responsible for who you find or who you meet there. I have to say that, right? Disclaimer. But those are places to at least find events that are happening that you might be interested in going to, where you can also meet people. And what was the Facebook events is also a place to look. Okay. So let me see. I've got a few more things and not that much time. So I wanted to say, one of the things I wanted to say a little bit more about what I was saying before about not being attached to, is he the one? Is this going to work? Is this, to really being in that space of openness and hopeful anticipation, wonder, play, joy, that you're going to have a heck of a lot of a more, what is it? A heck of a more fun time and a much better time. And the other person is going to be able to see that energy and be in your, like, really be in your space. And when I say energy, I know sometimes people think it's woo woo, but it really is. It's everywhere. It's all around us. Energy is everywhere, and it's in everything. But it's like who you are being is what you want a man to fall in love with. You want him to fall in love with you, not a pretense, not a show, not a performance, right? Another thing that I know we had a client who she would get so anxious before a date that she would take all of the fun out of the date, but it would be like almost on the verge of a panic attack every single time. So was she relating to dating as fun? No, there was no spark there. She was like putting out the fire. So we had to get her with the breathing exercises, the movement, and just the coaching around what it was that she was actually afraid of. Well, what she was afraid of was sometimes she was afraid that they weren't gonna like her and she was gonna like them, or the flip, that they were going to like her and she wasn't going to like them and she was going to have to let them down. I'm like, none of that is happening, love. You're having coffee. Like, can you go enjoy your coffee and a great conversation? and this, and then we'll take the next step afterwards when you come back and tell me how the date went. So she started to do that. She started to do work with us in the Ready to Love Again program, and her confidence just started to grow and grow and grow. And wouldn't you know it, she goes on a coffee date. And she's now been married, I think 3 years. It's 3 years. She went on a coffee date. It went really well. She's like, I wasn't nervous. I just had fun. The conversation was so real. And then he asked her on another and another and another. Shortly after, not very long, I don't even think it was 6 months later, he asked her, he proposed to her. And then they got married within 9 months, 8 months of knowing one another. And they're still married today. So when you make it fun, when you lose the attachment, and when you learn how to date successfully, you start attracting men who are the actual right man for you. Okay. So be clear on your vision. Okay. A lot of people talk about alignment. What alignment is that you are clear on what your vision is, what you most value for yourself in your life, and then what are your boundaries? What are you, not a rule for somebody else. What will you do? What won't you do? What will you tolerate? What won't you tolerate? And now that means you're being 100% in your personal power, which is a lot more fun right? Because we're talking about bringing excitement and fun back into dating. It's a lot more fun than pressure. It's a lot more fun than being stressed out. And it's a lot more fun than giving the power to somebody else, giving somebody a rule, and you can only have your happiness if that person's following your rules. No, that's more than I can get into. But I'll tell you what we're going to be talking about it in just a moment. So I want you to remember, like a takeaway from today's love chat, is that you want to remember that when you combine your radiance, that clarity about your vision, what you want to experience in a relationship, and clarity about who you are, that will naturally call in emotionally available men. So you want to be attracting the right man. If you are taking notes, you want to write this down. Okay? If you're not attracting who you want, it's not because there's something wrong with you, and that doesn't mean you're never going to have the love that you want. What you get to do is to get back in alignment with yourself, your vision, your values, and allow that to be what radiates from you and allows you to effortlessly attract the right man into your life. And if that is speaking to you, if you're like, yes, I'm in, I want to radiate that irresistible essence, I want to attract a man who's the right match for me emotionally, personally, spiritually, then you want to make sure that you come to our Attract the Right Man Masterclass next Tuesday. So there won't be a love chat next Tuesday because we're having a masterclass October 7th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Come and join us for the Attract the Right Man Masterclass. And I always emphasize the Right Man Masterclass, because who cares if you're attracting 50 men and none of them is really a match for who you are, what you value, and what your vision is, right? So it's a live training, virtual, where you will discover how to combine, right, that attraction energy, that irresistible essence that I was talking about. How do you combine your attraction energy with a clear plan for calling in the right man, not just any man, but the right man. Okay, so if that's what you want to do, all you have to do is click on the link that's being dropped in the chat. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to a page. It's an absolutely free masterclass. You get to be with us for a couple of hours and really being in a space where we're going to talk about what are some of the things that might be getting in the way of you attracting that man. And then that coupled with what you just learned tonight, gold, right? You're going to be on the right track. Okay. So tonight we talked about how to reignite your own spark when it comes to dating, right? So that you're excited, you're having fun, you're in that place of curiosity and wonder and fun, right? Play. And then at the masterclass, we're going to show you how to channel that spark and that energy so that you're magnetizing the right man, the one who's aligned with your vision for forever love. Okay. Make sure that you click on that link now. I know my busy women. Click on it now. Sign up and then go ahead, copy the link and send it to a few of your girlfriends. Because here's what I know: when you and your friends are winning together, that's a heck of a lot more fun, right? When you and your friend are finally having the kind of ease and joy and fun when it comes to dating and relationships, your conversations are going to be a lot less heavy. They're going to be a lot more fun. And now you can start dreaming together about being in that relationship of your dreams versus talking about, commiserating about how terrible dating is, okay, or men or whatever, okay? So it's a shift in mindset. It's a shift in your heart. It's a shift in your energy, all right? All right, ladies. So I hope you'll join us for the Attract the Right Man Masterclass. Again, it's October 7th at 6:30 p.m. So you can learn exactly how to do that. And until our hearts meet again, always remember that you are loved. Goodbye for now.